Wife handed me divorce papers on Christmas, her parents cheered. Until she opened my gift and found the one thing that destroyed her entire plan. For context, I'm 32, built my tech company from nothing after dropping out of college. Not to brag, but I'm worth 8 figures now. Important detail for later. My wife Monica is 30, worked, as a marketing director at a Fortune 500. We've been together 10 years total, married for 7. One son, who just turned 7 last month. This whole SHT show started in January. Monica suddenly gave a F about her appearance again. New designer clothes, expensive makeup, gym membership she actually used. Red flag number 1. Then came the work emergencies, weekend conferences that didn't exist on the company calendar, late night strategy sessions, constantly on her phone smiling at texts. Now, I'm not an insecure man. I don't go through phones or act like a paranoid BCH. But I'm also not stupid. When your wife of 7 years suddenly starts shaving her pussy again and buying lingerie that you never see, you pay attention. March rolled around. She had another conference, this time in Miami. Said she'd be gone Friday to Sunday. I kissed her goodbye Thursday night, waited for her Uber to leave, then installed a GPS tracker in her car. Why her car if she was flying? Because I checked, there was no conference. No flight booked on our credit cards. Nothing. That tracker was the best $200 I ever spent. Friday afternoon, her car was parked at the Ritz-Carlton downtown. Not Miami, 20 minutes from our house. I drove by, saw her BMW in the valet area. Thought about confronting her right then, but I'm not an emotional reactor. I plan. I execute. Called my brother instead. He runs a private investigation firm after doing 10 years in military intelligence. Told him the situation. He said the same thing our dad used to tell us, never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. So I let Monica make mistakes. For 8 effing months, I let her make mistakes. My brother's guy got photos. Videos. The works. Her boss Richard, the 45-year-old divorced CEO who she always said was gross and tried too hard to be young. Turns out she didn't mind his attempts when he was balls deep in her at the Ritz. Or the Hilton. Or his lake house. Or our effing vacation home that I bought with my first company sale. But photos of them effing weren't enough. See, in my state, infidelity matters in divorce if you can prove financial impact. So we dug deeper. She was skimming from her expense account, booking client dinners that were their F sessions. Using the company card for lingerie, SX toys, even a few grand in jewelry for networking events. She'd submitted false receipts, forged signatures. Federal crime territory. The messages between them were a goldmine. Not just the sexual SHT, though there was plenty of that. Videos of her doing things she'd always told me were degrading and disgusting. But the real gems were her texts about me. About our son. About her parents. Can't wait until I can stop pretending to love that boring F. His money will be so much better with someone who knows how to spend it. My parents already said they'll testify that he's abusive if needed. I'll get the house, custody, and at least $10,000 a month in alimony. My dad's lawyer says we can claim emotional abuse because he works too much. That last one hit different. I built my company working 80-hour weeks to give her the life she wanted. The house she picked. The cars she drove. The effing designer bags she collected like Pokemon cards. But the text that sealed her fate? A voice message from November where she laughed about our son, calling him that annoying little cockblock and saying she couldn't wait to ship him off to boarding school after the divorce. My son. The kid I taught to code at 5. Who helps me build robots in the garage. Who she basically ignored unless it was for Instagram photos. Game effing on. I hired the best family law attorney in the state. Not the loudest or most advertised, the one other lawyers hire for their own divorces. She took one look at my evidence and actually whistled. Said it was the most comprehensive package she'd ever seen. Then she noticed something I'd missed. Our prenup had a fidelity clause. Not just basic cheating, it specifically covered financial infidelity. Using marital assets for an affair voided her claim to alimony and shifted the asset split from 50-50 to 70-30 in my favor. My lawyer, God bless her, had insisted on that clause 7 years ago. Monica had laughed it off, saying only insecure poor people needed prenups. We prepared everything. Filed the paperwork but held off on serving. I wanted maximum impact. Then Monica gave me the perfect opportunity. 2 weeks ago, she mentioned Christmas at her parents' house. Same as every year, her entire extended family, about 30 people, all gathered to kiss her parents' asses and brag about their money. Her family never liked me. I was new money, a tech bro, not the investment banker or surgeon they'd wanted for their princess. She seemed extra excited this year. Kept mentioning how it would be a Christmas to remember and making sure I'd be there. Red flag, but I played along. I knew something was coming. I just didn't know she'd be stupid enough to serve me divorce papers in front of her entire family on Christmas morning. But she was. Oh, she effing was. Christmas morning. We're all in her parents' massive living room. Everyone's opening presents. Monica stands up, says she has a special announcement. I'm sitting there in the designer sweater she bought me, playing the part. She reaches into her Hermes bag and pulls out a manila envelope. Walks over, standing above me for the power play, and drops it in my lap with this satisfied smirk. Merry Christmas. I want a divorce. Her mom actually started clapping. Her dad said about time, princess. Her sister laughed. The entire room was staring at me, waiting for me to break down or beg or rage. I didn't. I set the envelope aside without opening it. Reached under my chair where I'd placed her gift. A box wrapped in perfect red paper with a gold ribbon. Handed it to her with a smile. Open it, I said. In front of everyone, since we're sharing big news. She hesitated. Good instincts, finally. But her mom encouraged her, probably thinking it was jewelry she could keep after the divorce. Monica opened the box. Inside was a leather-bound folder. She opened it. First page, her and Richard at the Ritz. Not a subtle photo either. Full penetration, her face clearly visible in the mirror behind them. She went white. Tried to close the folder. I stood up. No. Share with the family. They're also interested in our marriage. Her hands were shaking now. She flipped to the next page. Screenshots of her texts about the family. The ones where she called her mom a pretentious CNT and said her dad was a walking midlife crisis with his secretary effing cliché. Her mom gasped. What is this? Keep going, I said. It gets better. Financial records. The embezzlement. The evidence that would end her career and possibly land her in prison. Her voice message about our son. The prenup highlighted with the relevant sections. Then the final page. A QR code. Scan it, I told her. She did, hands trembling. It opened a website. Everything. Every photo, every text, every piece of evidence. Live. Public. With a countdown timer showing when it would be automatically emailed to her company's board of directors, the SEC, and every major contact in her LinkedIn network. You have 24 hours to sign my divorce terms, I said. Full custody. No alimony. You keep your clothes and car. I keep everything else. Or this goes wide. Her dad tried to step in, all bluster about his lawyers. I pulled out my phone, showed him the tracker data from his lake house. The dates his wife was at her book club. Richard wasn't just effing your daughter, I said. Thursdays were reserved for your wife. Same room, same position. Want to see? The room exploded. Her mom screaming at her dad. Her dad lunging at me before my brother. Did I mention he was there? I'd invited him as backup, stepped between us. Monica's sister recording everything on her phone. Other relatives backing away like divorce was contagious. Monica tried to grab my phone, screaming about revenge PN, lawsuits, whatever. I laughed. Every photo was taken in public or commercial spaces with security cameras. No expectation of privacy. My lawyer made sure of that. Also, check page 47, you signed a consent form for recording during your company's security training. Covers all electronic communications on company devices. My son walked in then, asking what all the noise was about. Monica tried to run to him, play the victim. He looked at her, then at me. Dad, are we leaving? You promised we'd build the new robot today. Yeah, buddy, we're leaving. I picked him up. 7 years old but still my little boy. Go grab your backpack. We're going home. Monica lost it. Full meltdown. Screaming about kidnapping, calling the police. Her mom trying to mediate while still processing that her husband was effing her daughter's affair partner. Her dad threatening lawsuits while frantically calling Richard's wife. I walked out with my son. My brother followed, carrying the box of presents I'd bought for my son, the ones Monica had hidden to make him think I'd forgotten Christmas. She signed the papers that night. Showed up at my house at 11 p.m., makeup destroyed, begging. Not for me, for the timer to stop. Her boss had already seen it. Her dad's business partners. Everyone, I stopped the automatic send but left the site live. By morning, someone had found it and shared it to her company's internal Slack. By noon, she and Richard were both fired for misuse of company funds. By evening, Richard's wife had filed for divorce and frozen their accounts. It's been 24 hours. Monica is staying with her parents, who aren't speaking to each other. She's already been served with papers from her company's legal department. Richard is facing federal charges for the embezzlement he signed off on. Their entire industry knows she'll never work in marketing again. My son is asleep down the hall. We spent today building his robot and eating pizza. He asked once about mommy. I told him she made some bad choices and needs time to think about them. He nodded and went back to coding. Kids are resilient when you don't lie to them. I'm not celebrating. There's no victory in watching someone you love destroy themselves. But I'm not mourning either. She made her choices. I just made sure she faced the consequences. The house is quiet now. Peaceful. Tomorrow I'll take my son to the Science Museum. This weekend we'll go camping. Life goes on. To anyone reading this who's been cheated on, betrayed, disrespected, you don't have to take it. You don't have to rage or beg or let them control the narrative. Plan. Execute. Protect what matters. And always trust your gut. Edit 1, 4:15 a.m. Since some people are asking, yes, this is real. No, I'm not worried about legal backlash. Everything was done by the book. The photos on the website weren't explicit, just kissing/embracing in public places. The financial evidence is what buried them. The explicit stuff was only in the folder, shown in a private setting with no distribution. My lawyer is a effing genius. Edit 2, 4:47 a.m. For those saying I'm heartless about my son, he's my priority. I've had him in therapy since I discovered the affair in case things went south. The therapist advised honesty without details. He knows mommy made mistakes but not the specifics. I'm not poisoning him against her, she did that herself by barely acknowledging his existence unless it benefited her Instagram aesthetic. Edit 3, 5:23 a.m. The tracker was completely legal. My name was on the car title as primary owner. I can put whatever I want on my property. Same with the vacation home surveillance. All disclosed in the property documents she never read. Update 1 week later. F me, this has been a week. First, thanks for all the support. The few haters saying I went too far can kiss my sauce, you weren't married to her. So here's what's happened. The fallout. Monica's been staying with her parents, but that's imploding fast. Her dad moved into their pool house after her mom found out about him and Richard's wife. Turns out Richard wasn't just effing my wife and his, there were at least 3 other employees. Dude was running a whole harem at the company. Her mom called me crying 2 days after Christmas. Crying. The woman who'd spent 7 years telling Monica she married down and could do so much better. Begging me to take down the website, worried about their reputation at the country club. I told her the site comes down when the divorce is finalized. She hung up and called my lawyer, who basically told her the same thing with more legal terms. Monica's attempts. This woman has tried everything. Day 2, showed up at my office with her tits half out, trying to seduce me. My assistant wouldn't even let her pass the lobby. I watched on security cameras as she ugly cried in the parking garage. Day 3, sent 47 text messages ranging from I'll KL myself to you'll never see your son again to I never loved you anyway. My lawyer added them to our evidence file. Day 4, had her lawyer send a cease and desist. My lawyer responded with the signed consent forms and a counter notice that any further harassment would violate the terms she'd already agreed to. Day 5, posted on Facebook about being a survivor of emotional abuse and how I'd trapped her in a loveless marriage. I didn't respond, but apparently my brother did. Posted her voice message calling our son a cockblock. Her post disappeared within an hour. Day 6, tried to access our joint accounts. Surprise, BCH, I'd already separated everything legally. She has exactly what the prenup specified, the BMW, her personal account with about 40K, and her designer SHT. Watching her discover she couldn't access my company accounts was chef's kiss beautiful. Day 7, the nuclear option. She called CPS. The CPS visit. Yeah, she actually effing went there. Said I was an unstable tech addict who left our son alone to work. That I was exposing him to inappropriate content, the divorce papers, I guess. The social worker showed up yesterday. I was expecting it, my lawyer had warned me this might happen. I welcomed her in, offered coffee, showed her around. My son was in the living room building a Lego Mars rover while explaining the actual Mars missions to my brother. She interviewed him privately. Asked about his routine, his meals, his relationship with me. Kid apparently went on a 20-minute tangent about our robotics projects and how I'm teaching him Python. Showed her his room, clean, organized, full of books and educational toys. Then she interviewed me. I had everything ready. Therapy records showing I'd been taking him since March. School records, straight A's, perfect attendance when he's with me. Medical records, every appointment, vaccine, dental cleaning. Character references from his teachers, coaches, neighbors. Financial records showing the trust fund I'd set up for his education. The parenting app I'd been using to document every pickup, drop-off, meal, and activity for the past 8 months. Know what Monica had? Nothing. Couldn't even remember his teacher's name when asked. Didn't know he was allergic to shellfish. Thought he was in 2nd grade, he's in 1st. The social worker closed the case as unfounded and noted it was likely a malicious report due to contentious divorce proceedings. That goes in the custody file too. The company drama. Holy SHT, this turned into a beautiful dumpster fire. Remember how Monica and Richard were embezzling? Well, the forensic accountants found more. So much more. Turns out they'd been running a whole scheme. Fake vendors, inflated invoices, kickbacks. We're talking high 6 figures over 3 years. The FBI is now involved. The company stock dropped 12% when news leaked. But here's the karma. Monica wasn't smart enough to hide her tracks. Richard was letting her do all the paperwork while he signed off. So guess whose name is on every fraudulent document? Guess who's looking at 5 to 10 years in federal prison? Her lawyer called mine yesterday. They want to make a deal. She'll give up any claim to my assets, any future claims, won't seek any custody or visitation, if I'll testify that I manipulated her into the financial crimes. I laughed so hard I nearly PTSD myself. My lawyer professionally told them to go F themselves. My son. This is what matters. He's doing great. We've maintained his routine, kept him in his activities. He asks about Monica maybe once every other day. Usually just is mommy still in timeout? I say yes, she's still thinking about her choices. He nods and goes back to whatever he's doing. His teacher pulled me aside at pickup yesterday. Said he seems happier, more engaged. He's raising his hand more, playing with other kids instead of sitting alone. Broke my effing heart realizing how much her negativity was affecting him. We're building a workshop in the garage. Proper tools, safety equipment, organized workspace. He wants to enter the robotics competition at school. We're designing our entry together. The prenup king. Unexpected side effect, I've become the poster child for prenups in my social circle. 3 buddies have reached out asking for my lawyer's info. 2 are getting married, one's been married 5 years but wants a postnup after seeing my situation. My lawyer says she's gotten 14 referrals from my case alone. She sent me a bottle of $400 scotches, thanks. Monica's friends. This has been illuminating. Her core group of mean girl friends initially rallied around her. Posted vague SHT about knowing your worth and rising above negativity. Then the financial crime news broke. Then the website got shared in their group chat, thanks to whoever did that. Then they found out she'd been SHT talking them to Richard too. My favorite was her best friend finding texts where Monica called her a basic BCH with no style living through her kids. That friend then remembered Monica borrowing $5,000 for a medical emergency last year. Guess what dates lined up with a trip to Cabo with Richard? One by one, they're distancing themselves. Her Instagram went from 3K followers to 400. The comments on her last post before she went private were brutal. What's next? Divorce should be final within 30 days if she doesn't contest. She won't, she can't afford to. Criminal charges are pending. She's been barred from leaving the state. My company is about to close a major acquisition. My son and I are planning a summer trip to Japan to visit the robotics museums. Life is good. To everyone dealing with a cheating spouse, document everything. Don't act on emotion. Protect your kids. And never, ever let them make you feel like the bad guy for standing up for yourself. Edit, to the person who'd asking if I'm worried about Monica self-harming, that's not my responsibility anymore. She's an adult who made adult choices. I've informed her family of my concerns. What they do with that is their business. Edit 2, yes, the website is still up. It now has a visitor counter. Currently at 47,000 views. I'm petty like that. Update 2, 1 month later, the legal proceedings. Jesus Christ, what a month. Grab a drink, this is long. The federal investigation. Remember how Monica and Richard were embezzling? The FBI raid happened 2 weeks ago. 6 a.m., full tactical gear at her parents' house. Neighbors got quite the show, Monica in her silk pajamas being walked out in handcuffs while her mom screamed about knowing senators. They seized everything. Phones, laptops, designer bags, apparently she'd been reporting them as business expenses, jewelry, even her car. Turns out the BMW was leased through a shell company they'd set up. Richard flipped immediately. Full cooperation, threw Monica under the bus so hard she left tire marks. His lawyer painted her as the mastermind who seduced a vulnerable divorced executive. I actually laughed out loud reading that transcript. Monica's holding out, convinced she can beat it. Her parents hired some hotshot criminal defense attorney who wanted a $100,000 retainer. They had to mortgage the pool house to afford it. The divorce settlement. We were supposed to finalize last week. Monica's lawyer filed for an extension citing the criminal investigation. My lawyer countered that the criminal matter was separate from the divorce. Judge agreed. Final terms. I keep the house, valued at $3.2 million. I keep my company shares, current value $47 million. I keep the vacation properties, total value $5.5 million. She gets her personal belongings and $50,000 cash per the prenup. Full legal and physical custody to me. No visitation until she completes therapy and parenting classes. No alimony. She pays her own legal fees. She tried to claim the prenup was signed under duress. Judge asked for evidence. Her lawyer actually said, she was young and in love, that's duress enough. Judge literally laughed. Dismissed. The best part? Her lawyer tried to argue for emergency spousal support during the criminal trial. Claimed she couldn't work due to reputational damage. My lawyer presented her LinkedIn where she'd been actively applying for jobs. In other cities where she'd claimed to have closed major deals that we now know never existed. Request denied. Custody battle, or lack thereof. This was supposed to be the ugly part. Monica had threatened to take me for everything and make sure I never saw my son again. Reality? She missed 3 scheduled custody hearings. First one, she claimed car trouble. Second, her lawyer said she was emotionally unprepared. Third, she just didn't show. My son's court-appointed advocate, guardian ad litem, interviewed him multiple times. Kid was consistent, he wants to live with me, visit mommy sometimes if she stops being mean. When asked about specific incidents, he mentioned her yelling at him for interrupting her phone calls, with Richard, forgetting his birthday last year, and telling him he couldn't bring his robot to school because it was embarrassing. The guardian's report was damning. Monica had no knowledge of his medical history. Never attended a parent-teacher conference. No involvement in his extracurriculars. No suitable living situation. Her parents' house has no room for him. No income or employment prospects. Pending federal charges. The judge granted me full custody with Monica getting supervised visitation once she completes 52 weeks of parenting classes. Individual therapy. Stable employment for 6 months. Suitable living arrangements. She has to pay for all of this herself and the supervisor. At $200/hour for supervision, she's looking at $800 per month just to see him 4 hours a week. With no job. The social media catastrophe. Remember that website I made? It went viral on LinkedIn. Some business ethics professor used it as a case study. Digital Age Revenge, a study in consequences has been downloaded 50,000 times. Monica tried reinventing herself on TikTok as a survivor of narcissistic abuse. Posted crying videos about being betrayed and abandoned. Got maybe 100 views each until someone linked to my website in her comments. The ratios were brutal. Best comment, girl, you embezzled money to F your married boss and called your son a cockblock. The only thing you survived was consequences. She deleted everything and went dark. The plot twist. Here's where it gets interesting. Remember Richard's wife? The one who was also being cheated on? She reached out to me through lawyers. She wanted to compare notes for her divorce. We met for coffee. Professional, just exchanging relevant information. Turns out Richard and Monica's affair went back 5 years. Before I even married her. She showed me emails from her discovery that proved Monica was effing him during our engagement. But that's not the twist. Richard's wife, Patricia, is the sister of a federal prosecutor. Guess who just got assigned to Monica and Richard's case? Patricia also runs a venture capital firm. A very successful one. She's interested in investing in my company. Oh, and her divorce lawyer? Same shark I hired. They're tag teaming to destroy Richard financially while he faces federal charges. My son's progress. This is what really matters. He's thriving. His grades are perfect, he's made new friends, and his anxiety, yeah, he had anxiety, wonder why, is practically gone. We finished our robot. Won second place in the regional competition. He wants to improve it for nationals. We're adding machine learning capabilities. Kid understands the basics better than some adults I work with. His therapist says he's processing everything remarkably well. Children adapt when they feel secure and loved. He knows I'm not going anywhere. Last week, he asked why mommy made bad choices. I told him sometimes adults forget what's important and hurt people who love them. He thought about it and said, like when I broke my friend's toy and had to apologize? Pretty much, buddy. Pretty much. The family fallout. Monica's family is imploding. Her dad is divorcing her mom after 35 years. Turns out Richard's wife wasn't his only side piece. Patricia shared evidence of him with at least 4 other women over the years. Her mom is taking him to the cleaners. Her sister reached out to apologize for laughing at Christmas. Said she had no idea how bad things were. Mentioned Monica had borrowed $20,000 from her over the years for emergencies that she now realizes were affair-related. She's suing for repayment. Her extended family has completely cut her off. That big happy Christmas gathering? She's persona non grata. Her cousin sent me screenshots of their family group chat. Monica's been removed, and they're planning next Christmas without her entire immediate family. Current status. Monica's living in her childhood bedroom at 30, watching her parents' marriage explode while facing federal charges. No job, no prospects, no friends. Her lawyer told Mine she cries through their entire meetings. Richard got house arrest pending trial but has to wear an ankle monitor. His wife took the house in their divorce, so he's in a studio apartment. At 45, he's lost everything including his reputation. Industry blacklisted. The company they worked for? Stock rebounded after they announced a complete audit and restructuring. They're using my case as an example in their new ethics training. I got a letter from their board thanking me for bringing this matter to light. They're not suing me for the website. Me? Company's thriving. Just hired 2 senior devs who mentioned they respected how I handled everything. Apparently, standing up to BS is good for business. My son and I have settled into a nice routine. Breakfast together every morning, homework and projects after school, bedtime stories about robots and space. Weekends are for adventures, museums, hiking, building things. I'm not dating. Not even thinking about it. Trust will take time to rebuild. But I'm at peace. My house is calm. My son is happy. My business is growing. Monica's actions gave me the gift of clarity. I know who I am, what I value, and what I won't tolerate. That's worth more than any settlement. To those following along, document everything. Get a good lawyer. Protect your kids. Don't compromise your values for someone who doesn't value you. And if they want to F around, let them find out. Edit, since people keep asking, yes, the website is still up. Now with a QR code that links to this Reddit saga. My petty knows no bounds. Edit 2, the robotics competition video is not being shared for my son's privacy. But he says thanks for all the encouragement in the DMs I've shared with him, the appropriate ones. Edit 3, no, I won't date your sister/friend/neighbor. My son and I are good. But, thanks for the vote of confidence in my eligibility, I guess? Final update, 3 months later, the resolution. This will be my last update. What a effing journey. The federal case conclusion. Monica pled guilty to 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of embezzlement, and conspiracy. Her hotshot lawyer convinced her to take a plea deal when he realized the evidence was insurmountable. Sentence, 3 years federal prison, 2 years supervised release, $1.7 million in restitution. Richard got 5 years because he was the senior executive who enabled it. His wife Patricia sent me champagne when the sentence was announced. Monica reported to federal prison last week. Minimum security, but still prison. Orange jumpsuit and all. Her mom posted on Facebook about visiting my daughter at her new residence like she was at a effing spa. The comments were savage before she deleted it. The divorce, officially done? Signed and sealed a month ago. Took longer than expected because Monica kept filing motions from jail through her commissary account. Each one more desperate than the last. Motion to reconsider custody, Denied. Motion for emergency spousal support. Denied. Motion to force sale of marital home. Denied. Motion for emotional damage compensation. Judge threatened her lawyer with sanctions for wasting the court's time. Final tally. I kept everything except her personal belongings. She owes me $47,000 in legal fees. No alimony, no custody, no visitation until she completes all requirements. Hard to do from federal prison. She'll be 33 when she gets out, with a federal record, no career prospects, and no family support. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. The unexpected alliance? Remember Patricia, Richard's ex-wife? She invested $10 million in my company's Series B. We closed the round at a $270 million valuation. My 40% stake is now worth over $100 million on paper. We're not dating, before you ask. Strictly business. But she's brilliant and ruthless in the best way. Her VC firm is opening doors I couldn't crack before. Turns out shared trauma over cheating spouses is great for business networking. She also started a non-profit for women affected by white-collar crime. Asked me to be on the board. I said yes. It helps other spouses who discover their partners are criminals. Monica's family, complete destruction. Her dad lost everything in the divorce. Her mom got the houses but had to sell them to pay his debts. Turns out he'd been borrowing against their assets to fund his affairs. The IRS also came knocking, unreported income from some shady real estate deals. He's living in a one-bedroom apartment, working as a consultant, aka unemployed. His country club membership was revoked when he couldn't pay dues. Her mom moved to Florida to live with her sister. Posted one last Facebook rant about how I destroyed her family. Lady, your family was held together with lies and delusion. I just turned on the lights. Monica's sister sued successfully for the $20,000. Monica can't pay from prison, so it'll be waiting when she gets out, plus interest. My son, the only thing that matters. He's incredible. Scary smart, emotionally intelligent, kind. We won the national robotics competition last month. MIT sent a letter encouraging him to apply in 10 years. He has it pinned to his wall next to his NASA posters. He asked about his mom once after she went to prison. I told him she made big mistakes and has to go away to learn how to make better choices. He nodded and asked if she'd learned to build robots there. I said probably not. He said, that's sad. Building robots helps me feel better when I'm upset. This kid, man. This effing kid. His therapist is amazed at his progress. Says he's one of the most well-adjusted children of divorce she's seen. Helps that he has stability, consistency, and a dad who shows up. We're planning our Japan trip for this summer. 2 weeks of robotics museums, tech companies, and sushi. He's learning basic Japanese from an app. Already knows more than me. The website legacy. That effing website has taken on a life of its own. It's been featured in 3 law school ethics courses, 2 business school case studies, 1 documentary about digital age revenge, declined to participate, countless Reddit threads. Someone turned it into an NFT and sold it for $50,000. Wish I'd thought of that. It's still up. Will probably stay up forever as a monument to consequences. Monica's lawyer tried one last time to get an injunction. Judge basically said First Amendment, deal with it. View counter is at 2.7 million. The comments section had to be disabled after it turned into a support group for betrayed spouses. Personal growth. I started therapy myself 2 months ago. Not because I'm struggling, because I want to be better. Better dad, better person, better at trusting when the time comes. Therapist says I handled everything remarkably well but warns about building walls too high. Fair point. My son needs to see healthy relationships eventually. I've been asked out a few times. CFO of a partner company, my son's teacher, after he moves to 2nd grade, Patricia's business partner. Not ready yet. Maybe not for a while. That's okay. What I've learned. Trust your gut. It's right more often than not. Document everything. Evidence is king. Protect your children above all else. Don't compromise your values for anyone. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people face consequences. The business boom. Unexpected side effect of all this drama, my company is Klingit. We've hired 50 new employees, opened 2 new offices, and have contracts with 3 Fortune 500 companies. Turns out, a CEO who handles personal crisis with strategic thinking instead of emotional meltdowns is attractive to investors. Who knew? My head of HR pulled me aside last month. Said 5 employees specifically mentioned my situation as why they trusted the company culture. If you'll stand up to your own wife for what's right, you'll stand up for us too. We're implementing the most generous parental leave policy in tech. 6 months full pay, either parent. Because kids need their parents present, not checked out on their phones arranging affairs. Messages from Monica. She's written me 47 letters from prison. I've read none of them. My lawyer keeps them in case we need them for future legal matters. He says they range from apologetic to threatening to delusional. She's allowed 1 phone call a week. Used it to call my office 5 times before we blocked the prison number. My assistant said she was crying so hard she couldn't understand her. Her commissary account shows she's buying self-help books and romance novels. Good luck with that character development, Monica. Only took federal prison to get you reading something besides Instagram. The friends who showed up. Want to give credit to the real ones. My brother took a week off work after Christmas to help me handle everything. Taught my son new coding languages while I dealt with lawyers. Never asked for anything, never judged. Just showed up. My assistant fielded dozens of calls from Monica's flying monkeys, kept my schedule running, never let the drama affect my company. Gave her a 40% raise in stock options. My lawyer went beyond legal counsel. Became a strategic advisor, therapist, and bulldog. Worth every penny of her $900/hour rate. My son's teacher kept me informed of any behavioral changes, provided extra support, never treated him differently. Wrote a letter for the custody hearing that made me cry. 3 college buddies who randomly started showing up Saturday mornings to help with the robot building. Never asked about the divorce unless I brought it up. Just came to hang with us and make sure we weren't isolated. The DMs and messages. This saga apparently resonated. I've received over 1,000 DMs from betrayed spouses asking for advice, lawyers asking to use my case as an example, women saying I'm their dream man, weird flex but okay, men dealing with similar situations, adult children of messy divorces thanking me for protecting my son. To everyone who shared their stories, you're stronger than you know. It gets better. Document everything. Protect your kids. Don't sacrifice your values. To the haters saying I went too far, she effed around and found out. I use truth as my weapon. If the truth destroys someone, they destroyed themselves. Where we are now. It's Tuesday night. My son is upstairs building a model of the Mars rover after finishing his homework without being asked. I'm in my office, running a company that's actually making a difference. The house is peaceful. No walking on eggshells, no wondering where she is, no fake smiles for Instagram. Just peace. I think about Monica sometimes. Not with anger or sadness. More like you'd think about a natural disaster you survived. It happened, it sucked, but you rebuilt stronger. She'll get out when she's 33. No career, no family support, no future in her industry. A federal record that will follow her forever. Restitution payments that will take decades to complete. All because she couldn't appreciate what she had. Couldn't stay faithful. Couldn't even be a decent mother. For my son, I know he'll find these posts someday. Internet is forever and kids are curious. So buddy, if you're reading this years from now, your mom made choices that hurt our family. I made choices to protect you. Neither of us is perfect, but I promise you this, every decision I made was with your well-being in mind. You're the best thing in my life. Watching you grow, learn, and build amazing things makes every hard day worth it. I'm proud of the young man you're becoming. Also, yes, I was petty with the website. Sometimes petty is satisfying. Just make sure you have good lawyers first. Final thoughts. To Monica, if you're reading this from federal prison. You had everything. A husband who loved you, built an empire for you, treated you like a queen. A son who's brilliant and kind despite your neglect. A life most people dream of. You threw it away for a sleazy executive who threw you under the bus at the first sign of trouble. Hope the orgasms were worth it. Your son is thriving without you. I'm richer without you. Your family imploded without you. The world kept spinning without you. You are, quite literally, in prison while everyone you hurt is free and flourishing. That's the real revenge. To everyone else. Trust your gut. Document everything. Lawyer up properly. Protect your kids. Never compromise your values. Let consequences do the heavy lifting. And remember, the best revenge is a life well lived. My son and I are living our best lives. This is my final update. We're closing this chapter and writing a better one. Peace out. Final edit, the website stays up forever. It's my monument to effing around and finding out. Current view count, 3.4 million. Final edit 2, no, I still won't date your sister. But I appreciate the offers. Final edit 3, to the person who made a TikTok series about this, at least you got the facts right. The dramatic music was a bit much though. Final edit 4, just noticed it's exactly 4 months since Christmas morning. Currently sipping expensive whiskey in my home office while my son plays piano in the living room. Yeah, he picked that up too. Life is good when you remove toxic people from it. Signing off for good. Remember, you deserve better than someone who doesn't choose you every single day. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.